Okay, I'm live again. What the fuck? YouTube, why did you just die on me? That's crazy. I had 4 fucking viewers. 5 even. No, 4, because excluding myself. That is like, what the fuck? Not cool. Now, how do I, hell yeah. I open the chat again. Uh, hey guys, I hope you like come back because that was fun. um, yeah. So, anything else that I need to change? No. Yeah, this kind of like sucks. Why did it just break all of a sudden? Uh, Misha asked me like, maybe you typed in something really bad in Russian. No, it was just like normal words which are the same as these ones but just in Russian. And it was such a funny, elaborate bit, and YouTube broke it for me. Hello, Lakhit Samani. Did I pronounce your name right? Or at least good enough? Hello. Stream broke. Stream just straight up broke. So, yeah, that's pretty strange. Okay. So, yeah, glad to see you, very much so. Having your stream broken on you is just kind of surprising, at least. No? Fair enough. To be fair, like, if I gave you my name, you probably wouldn't pronounce it correctly either. And this is not specifically, like, private information, so I might as well leak it. Alisa Udruzheva. Well, I pronounced it myself, but... Hey, here you go. You can't pronounce it either. Oh, it's a draw then. Okay, so coming back to whatever broke my stream. Yeah, like, fair enough. And to be fair, you shouldn't know Russian. Not because I'm, like, gatekeeping you, I'm just, like, worrying about you. Like, if you know Russian, that's unfortunate. Wait, hold on. Oh, okay. So, I was checking. I'm supposed to meet up with a friend in about 2 hours. So, if I get like way too distracted, that's why. So, you can reasonably assume another like 1 hour 20 minutes of streaming. Fair enough. Okay, I'll write it. You can try out pronouncing it yourself, and I'm gonna pronounce it myself later. So, I mean, it sounds to me like a very easy to pronounce name, but maybe because I have the context of knowing Russian. So I could be wrong on that. Wow. Guys, that's so sweet. Stream unexpectedly ended and then like you rejoined. That's so sweet. I love that. Aw, I love you guys. Okay, so make sure counter file exists. Amazing. Very short name. The reason why I'm writing 0 to it is because I expect it to be a number. So I need that file to, no matter what, be a number, even if it's 0. So, if the file is created while being a 0 immediately, then that guarantees it will never break trying to convert into a number, because it will always be 1. And since read and write are private, then, well, here we go. Current count. Where do we write current count? Oh. Oh, okay. I pass it as a parameter. Okay. So I can just leader GT to stage it, and then implement. What is it called? My memory is so short. Make sure counter file exists. Okay, so now I call it in the constructor, make sure counter file exists. Now I'm sure there is at least one person who's better at me than me in programming. Is this a good name? Like, is it a reasonably good name? It explains very clearly what it is, but is that too clear? Is that too much? Like, too long? I realize it's not the most elegant, but nevertheless. Okay, so make sure counter file exists, and actually I want to stage this and amend it. I love this, like knowing Git and using it to a fuller extent than just git add dots, git commit, and git push. It just feels good. Like knowing that, oh, I can actually amend that because it makes more sense. Okay, so we know for sure that the file exists. I was thinking of, so we have an operation that we can do called increment. So we read what's currently in the file, get it as a number, increment it, and write it. Do we put both write and read into the increment function, or do we make them public and call them from the program once we actually call that? I think we put them in. Okay, public, so it's going to be called increment. It doesn't need to return anything. Increment. We don't need to pass by how much, because increment by itself means increment by 1. I don't think you can say, oh, increment by 3, because increment by itself means by 1. Is that crazy to say? Would you say it's crazy to say? Because it might be crazy. Okay, increment. So what do? Int counter is read. We get the counter plus plus, and write counter. And that's it. This feels suspiciously easy. God damn. Yeah, this feels suspiciously easy. But I think that's it. I guess that's a good thing. When something is suspiciously easy, that is like good code. Okay. So increment. We can increment reset. Let's also implement reset. Public void reset, which will reset to 0. I'll have reset and also set to be able to set it to some specific value. In case I decide to discard something. Say I didn't do my stuff like enough, and now I have -2. What if I want to set it to not 0, but maybe -1, because I forgive the 1 period of time to myself. Not sure why I would, but I know myself I could. Public void reset. Another thing that I'm realizing right now, this should be... Oh. Huh. No worries. Like, I had the thought of... Yeah, Misha, it's back. Question to you. Is this a good method name? Because in a sense, it's way too long, but also it makes it amazingly clear what this does. Make sure file exists. But I do realize that it's like very long, so I'm interested in your opinion on it, and also anyone else. But I guess there's no one. Oh, 3. So there's another person. That another person. What's your thought on that? Okay, so we have reset. What do we do here? We don't even need to read the file because we just write a 0, right? Write converts to string. That's perfect. So we just write 0 to reset to 0. And let's, god damn, that's a lot. Convert, use expression body for method, yes. I would change make sure to ensure. Ooh, I don't use this word, but it's a very nice one. Yeah, I'll actually do that in a separate commit because I think it makes more sense to have that in a separate commit. So implement reset, and let's make that ensure counter file exists. And once it understands and understood, rename make into n. Also, I make a lot of commits. I really like doing that because where am I? Welde. Yeah. Here, yeah. Because I can very clearly see step by step what I did. And if I ever need to check out into a commit, which to be fair, I haven't done ever, or like reset to a commit, or git diff a commit, it's way clearer where to go rather than implement the entire fucking operation. Here I can clearly see what changes I make, even though they're a bit too small. Nice. So reset just writes 0 and write is to the file. This is a single line and I think it's not long enough to be this instead. Yeah. But that's it. Here I'm not actually going to make a commit that says formatting because it's not big enough formatting to be its own thing. Oh hey, everyone joined back. Hello! So, we have reset, and I'll make set, but I'm not sure whether I'm actually going to be using it. Int new counter. Wait. Right, I can do that. I always forget. What I usually do to delete these brackets is I capital J, go back to the bracket capital D, which is just unnecessary, when what I could do is C %. I should like remember that and build it into my head. So set rights no set rights new counter. If it was auto hotkey, what I would do is new counter by default is 0, but here I would just make an overload, which I already do, but named better, because reset is more explicitly reset to the default value, which, understanding what this program does, is obviously 0. When set quite clearly says to us that set to the number that you provide. Yeah. Oh, coming back to the thought that I had, I was like, wait, I didn't consider like the ability to have multiple different works which you track. Maybe you like do 2 rounds of meditation every single day. And then you also do a course for some amount of time as well. You want to track those separately. Well, this is a pretty easy change to make eventually. Instead of the string there as the file name, you actually pass it. Yeah, and you do it in the constructor, and then it also uses the settings class, which ends up being not static. So yeah, you also like just pass the settings, which create their own file, so on, so on. So this is pretty easily changeable in the future to be better. Okay. And since it's pretty easily changeable, later, I don't see really a need to worry about it that much right now. Okay, so we have set. Let's commit it. Implement set. So, what is this program supposed to do? You can increment it, you can reset it, you could set it to something, and then every day it reduces by the amount that you specify. I don't think it is supposed to do anything else in terms of your actions. The help message I can write later. You know what I realized? I have headphones on even though like I'm not listening to any audio. So I'll remove them for now because my ears fucking hurt. Okay. I hear myself better, and that feels very weird. As if like I'm recording a track and I can hear myself back in the headphones. I found that really like confusing when I was recording music. And by the way, yeah, I used to make my own music in the genre of trap metal. Okay. Fucking 9 commits, bro. 9 commits. Okay, so that's all for the actions that we can take for now. Now we can go to the main thing. So another thing that we need in here, touch argument handler. So the reason why all of this even works to begin with is because you can pass arguments into your command. Just when it runs to 0, do you still keep a list of all the previous tasks and use those for suggestions when doing a new user project? Oh, this is a different project. I think what you're talking about is the chore tracker. So chore tracker list and has all of the chores that I have, and then you can add more chores like I don't know, what's a chore? I don't know, smoke and weed. And then chore tracker list, we see that I never smoked weed. This is a lie. We can also view smoke and weed, and then we can remove smoke weed. So you're talking about this project, I'm pretty sure. This is a different one, and how it's supposed to work. Let me actually do it a bit more visually. So the counter starts at 0, and every day I do an hour of the course that I'm studying on. So I do 20 minutes, I write it down. Cool, I did 20 minutes. Then another 20 minutes, then another. Cool, I'm done for the day. The next day, this counter is automatically less by 3. And now I can increment it again. So this is essentially what I want to do. And to be fair, I could just like do this myself manually, and I do already by writing on my whiteboard. But I want to make a program for this. You know why? Because timer, 20 minutes, and then the program, let's call it Welde, because it's going to be called that to begin with, Welde Inc. So automatically, once my timer for 20 minutes of work is done, it increments the thing itself, which is mwah. And this reminds me actually of another thing that I need to implement. Completely forgot. Show. Yeah, show is a good one. So I hope this explains pretty well what the project is supposed to do. Yeah. If you have any more questions, be sure to ask them. Right now I'm gonna implement, not sure if it, hold on. Do I even need, no, I don't need show range. I only have one counter. What am I ranging? So show, yes. So show will print on the console something along the lines of echo, you've done current counter is, and then this. And I'm actually, instead of giving, oh, right, that's what it does. Yeah, instead of giving the actual number, I wanted, I wanted to show it in lines, because that's what I'm used to, and I think it's kind of cool. Yeah. Interesting, it errored out. That's an error. That's strange. Yeah, so show. So it will be console write. Yeah, we'll add the line one after if we need to. Console write. And what do we get here? We first of all use read to get the number. So before we do show, what we have to do first is make a private method, private, which returns a string. Okay, return string, get sticks. Get sticks. I love this name, get sticks. So essentially, this method will convert the number into the actual amount of sticks. Sticks being this. The reason why I use the word sticks is because it's funnier. That's the entire reason. And actually, I realize we don't need to pass the amount because it's supposed to be reading a file anyway. Why pass it explicitly if we can use the class for it? Okay, so int amount is read. We get the amount of sticks. Get the kalbasa? I think I have it. No, I don't. I have some other meat in my fridge. I'd get a different kalbasa though. Or you can also read this as get sticks in the American way, like get blickies. Such a goofy word, by the way. Fucking blicky. Get the strap. Another like euphemisms for guns. And I would love to have guns actually. Like, I don't know, guns are just very exciting. The power behind them is very like jaw-dropping. I think the long lines, yes, you're correct. They're called pipes in the context of a shell usually. So right now this is a pipe, and maybe because of them being used this way, the character itself is also called a pipe. That's probably the case. But here, like, if I name the method get pipes, somebody may read it and think, oh, like, do you mean something that means the shell? When I really am just getting sticks. So I don't want to confuse them. I want to confuse them less by confusing them more, you know? So, how do we get sticks? How do I get probably something along the lines of string builder. Hold up. Right, I remember having this somewhere in here. Yeah, string extensions. Yeah. So basically, I want to pass how many. Insert. Huh. Right, a string is an array. Well, this is not exactly it. Товарищ Putin. I'm like, I should be in theory in danger. First of all, I have spoken out publicly that I'm against the war. Second of all, I've named it a war, even though it's not supposed to be called that, when in reality it's very much a war. And second of all, I'm not Hassan, I should stop talking about politics. Okay. Let's create a string. Yes, string message is current count is message. Okay, what methods does it have? Interesting, it's an array, so it has link. That's crazy. Does the class have a value for daily rec? For daily rec. You can keep it in your head for every task. Have a value for daily rec. Are you like asking, does it have a value for how many you need to do in a day? Because no. I only have one thing that I want to track currently, and it's the course. And I just need to do it an hour a day. So currently I just don't need it. Like, don't need a thing that tracks me. And also, if I specifically and only can do 3 every single day, it kind of restricts me. Right now, what I can do is do 2 hours every other day, which is what I do right now. Yeah. 3 pipes means nothing if you don't know how many pipes you need to do. Yeah, that's correct, and that's actually a valid point. It's just that I do, and I guess for me it makes more sense to, it makes sense to not implement this kind of thing, because I remember it. But once I implement multiple things that you can track, then yeah, it's definitely a good thing to add, because keeping multiple things in mind at a time is pretty, like it's a lot. So I want to, I want to use that character and multiply it, I guess. It's true I could create a string builder, then get a loop for how many, and then add it like that, but maybe there's a cooler solution. And the most important thing in programming is being cool, obviously. Okay. Let's ask ChatGPT. String repeat. I want to make a method that takes in a character and a number. It returns a string, which is the character passed multiplied by the number in C#. So if I pass and 5, the output I get is, it made it into a spoiler. Let's make it that. Okay, let's go. I see this, and my immediate thought is, oh, I have to close it. No, I don't. I am actually streaming. Like, I've seen this when I was recording prior, and there I can just, like, press pause or whatever. But here I'm actually streaming. I'm really not supposed to disable that. Repeat character. New See? That easy. Wow. I love that. I want to cry now. That's so cool. Oh, that's so cool. I love this. What a good language. Wait, this, yeah, this isn't the thing, right? And new string of stick of the amount of amount. And that's actually char. I should actually move it out, but I'll do it right after. Char character. Count char. is this? CAQ count character. Right? Right, but it doesn't have this thing. So message is message plus what? It's so strange, like unnecessary assignment. Obviously, I'm going to get to it. So now this thing, yeah, return message. Wait. What do you use? So it's a different one. Huh. I actually almost like it more. No, that's a lie. I like it less. Because concatenation and addition should be different characters. And very often in programming languages they aren't. And on a hotkey though, they are, which I like a lot. Okay, so we get sticks. And I'll move this in the next commit into settings, for example. It makes absolute sense to be in settings, by the way. Yeah. Yeah. Fuck yeah. I found something. There's no myString repeat. Maybe. Well, the reason why ChatGPT suggested, and I should close this, the reason why ChatGPT suggested creating it like that, like, where is it? New class, instead of string repeat, is because strings are immutable in C#. So repeat would probably, like, it's at the very least slower, if not less efficient, because of the immutability. But when you create a new class and specify it like that, you do it in one action, so you don't like fuck around with memory as much. Yeah, that's my idea of why. So maybe it does still have repeat, but that's probably the worst option. Yeah, they probably have some like magic like underneath that makes that a viable solution, but C# is jagged on a lot of sides, unfortunately. I like a lot of things in this language, but just as many I don't. Just as many things I don't like it in it. Things are, yeah, I'm aware. I'm just saying that C# is more of an old man about it. In C# it does. Like, there's why string builder exists, and it's very much recommended to be used. Same way as if you create a string, which we'll call it test right now, doing this is something that you can do. Okay, I guess that's not an action. You can do this, but you're very much not recommended to, and you should instead use string empty. This kind of idea is all around C#, where, oh, even though I'm a huge fucking language, instead of doing the smarter thing for you, you're expected to do the smarter thing. When languages like Kotlin do it for you, I imagine. Define an extension function. I mean, yeah, but I don't need to. Like, this very much is the thing that I want. Like, true, I can, I just don't need to at all. This is very readable and understandable in my opinion. We're creating a new class of the type string, and, well, here we just get the char and kind of like very obvious to me, so I don't think there's a need. Even though, yeah, you can. And in other hotkey, I do this really often, where I create abstractions for seemingly very simple things. But that's because I use them a lot and all over the place, and in a single humongous project where those dependencies are easier to work with. In C#, I would probably do it less, like for something this simple, because there's less of a need, because projects are smaller in a way. Really? No, I disagree. Maybe that's because of like the fact that I've been using C# and I'm very much in it, where this like feels very obvious to me. Like, oh yeah, obviously. How could I not come up with that myself? Readability is very, very subjective. Okay, so let's implement get sticks. And now in a separate commit, I will actually move this out here. Public const char, hold up, yeah, count character. But I'm gonna rename it actually. Instead of count character, it's going to be called show count character. Show count character. So this is the character that's going to be used to display the number that I have. So say I did 3 units of work. Instead of showing me 3, it will show this. So I'm not sure on the name of this. Do you have any suggestions? It's kinda okay, but seems a bit janky. My other vape charged. I have 2 vapes, by the way. I've showed this off in my face reveal video. But yeah, I have 2. So at least one of them is always charged. It's a very, very privileged thing to buy 2 of, I realize. For the simple reason of, I don't like waiting for my nicotine to be charged. Like, yeah. Stick pile. It's really funny because it's like a pun on stockpile, and I love this. It's very classy. But I don't think it's more readable in terms of the method, but I'm more so asking about the like variable name for the character. Multiple brains pretty much always think better than one brain, so I'm asking for suggestions. My hands are so weak. I can't like pour in liquid into my vape. And honestly, fuck yeah, getting weaker is amazing. Now you'll probably say, what are you talking about, Alisa? So, I'm trans, once again, and my standards of femininity are very, like, restricted. So, in my head, if I'm weaker, I am more of a woman. So, recognizing that I'm weaker by the day, like, is interestingly gender affirming. Wild, I know, but that's how I feel. Oh, come on. Surely your brain is working. You underestimate yourself, I'm sure. Okay, so show count character is going to be called for now. And it's that. So, settings, show count character. By the way, I've changed some settings for streaming, and now like it doesn't take up pretty much any of my processing power. Like, let's see how much it takes. Well, obviously not that. Really? Okay, let's wait for it. That's really not much, considering that my CPU is almost always not taken up by anything. So it's like, okay, and my memory is, as usual, taking up a lot, almost to the full, but that's the default, pretty much. Still works pretty good. Well, very good, surprisingly. Like, why is it so fast? Okay, so now you define it here. So if, for example, you're you and you want to use this project, and maybe you're not too good with C#, or maybe you're not that comfortable with programming, or more specifically, projects that are not yours, it will be way easier for you to see, settings. You go to the settings, and it's pretty obvious, once you've used it at least once, what each of those mean. And you're like, oh, I can just change it to something else. Way easier than going through the methods and finding where you need to change something. Okay, so let's commit this. Move out, show count character into settings. Cool. And now get sticks should work. And I made get sticks to use in show. Get sticks. Hold up. I shouldn't. Yeah, the message should be here. And this should be sticks. Get sticks should only get sticks. Oh, why? Why? Sticks. It shouldn't also give me the full fucking thing. It's not supposed to. Let sticks. No, not let. Recently on my course, what I'm studying right now is JavaScript, so that's where my brain went. That's funny. So, and now I don't need to, yeah, just sticks. Oh. I just love C# on moments like these. Okay, so I guess I could, new string and move it here, but I think it's just kind of unnecessary. It makes it clear that I'm getting sticks. So I'll leave it on separate lines actually. Even though it could like take less space, but it's not that important. Boop, boop. Message get sticks. We call it here. And now we console write the message. I love this. Implement get sticks into show. Cool. I either did everything or almost everything, and now I'm excited to actually try out this entire thing. The eater is going to be pretty much the last thing to do. You know what's cool about the eater? It can just use the counter manager, so this thing, to like use its methods. For example, set to whatever it is to less. This, by the way, could be made public. Right now, I don't need it to be public, so I'll only make it public once I actually need it. I think it's a good practice to have the least visibility until I actually need it more. Am I crazy about this? Like, too over specific? I kind of like, though, being hyper specific, which is why I love access modifiers and types. There's something in my course that they keep doing with C#. Say they need a variable, want to create a string that has some name. What they do is var name equals, say, Elisa. Why var? It's very easy to just specify string and make it more clear and obvious, but no, you for some reason just use var. Be clear, the language is all about types. All about types. Yeah, I'm glad you agree. Yeah, so the language is all about types. Why are you making them hidden? It's more readable if you see the types immediately. Like, sure, no, like, the compiler will figure out that it's an integer, but isn't it, like, easier to read if you specify that it's an integer explicitly? I find it so annoying that they keep using var instead of the actual types, and especially when it's like an easy type, or a type which will always be a single thing and not like multiple, like won't be null, won't be an object, so on. No, it's just one type. Yeah, like, boils my blood. Okay, so we have either settings, counter manager. Counter manager for now is done. So we have argument handler. So we should be working on argument handler right now. By the way, want to take a moment to say that this is so fun, like streaming. It's so fun. I get to work on my projects, and like usually I do stuff, like I program stuff to then make a video on it, but the entire process of making it, like, sure, it's fun, but being able to talk with someone while you're doing some programming is just so extra nice. So streaming is really fun to me. So I'm probably going to be streaming kinda a lot. Yeah. So, Welde, should it be public? Yes, I think so. No, it's going to be internal, because it will be specifically for this. Okay. Internal class, I don't think it's going to be static. I won't put static on it yet because I'm not sure, but it might be static. Public class R, and a cool thing about that you can do with C#, there's just an action to make the class the same name as the file. And I find it so cool. It's barely faster, barely, but it's cool that it's something that you can do. Okay, so first of all, we have to check the length of the arguments that we pass. So if it's 0, we just do nothing. If it's 1, we do a command. Okay, let's start. I'm bad at thinking. My hands usually do the work for me in terms of programming, and then my brain catches up. My throat is like hurting right now. I should really be drinking more water. Okay, so first of all is going to be internal, static, I think. For now it's going to be static. I don't think, I don't see how an instance is going to be useful so far. Internal, static, what does it return? I don't know yet. Validate arguments. We pass a string of arguments. You know what? Instead of arguments, I'll be more explicit. Args, to make it more clear that we're expecting these args. I could be even more specific with like a comment at the top, or some more specific name, but even naming it args instead of arguments can make it clearer, I think. So, first of all, if args length is smaller somehow, or is 0, then we throw an error? No, I don't think so. Oh, I know. It's simpler and I think better. Boolean. If it's this, then we return. Okay. Boolean. If it's 0 or less, we return false to mean no, they're not good. Otherwise, we return true. Is this everything that we need for validating arguments? I remember I had this method in this project as well, but I don't quite remember like all of it. It was in program, which is a worst practice to just keep it here. So main validate arguments. Interesting. Why can that be a null? I also... Oh, that's what I do. Yeah, if you don't pass anything, then you have the option to type it in. Honestly, pretty cool. But this time I'm actually not going to implement that. Interesting specification if it isn't 0. Well, if arguments somehow the length of an array is less than 0, pretty sure it's impossible, then it would still return arguments. So for specificity, it should be less than or equal to 0. Okay, so a more of a simpler validate arguments thing. I'm noticing that it's not showing me the changes, so let's restart VS Code. And it still doesn't. Sometimes Git just breaks. Oh well. I can use git status, like, whatever. So, we can validate them. Cool. So, Boolean, are valid. Yeah, that sounds good. Validate arguments. Wait, hold on. Argument handler validate arguments. And we pass arguments to it. If not are valid, then we return. Now, I wonder if error codes are just this. I don't think so because there's an error here. Null code. So it is! That's how you do it! Oh my god, that's how you provide error codes in C#. This is actually a question that I once did to figure out, and I think this is how you do it. That's so cool! That's so cool! Oh my god. So now, like, I can use it in terms of a pipeline in a better way. I love this. I love this so much. Can I just make up an error? Is there someone in chat who knows better? Whether I should or not? Just make up... Oh, I wasn't supposed to do that. Just make up my own error. Fucking 666, whatever. Aww. Yes, I am. Yeah, so 666. Sure. That's hilarious and funny. I didn't really pay attention to this ever, but the main method is private. Like, yeah, obviously, it's not supposed to be called by other classes, but I kinda expected it to not be private, because what calls the main method anyway? It has to have access to it. So, so this class calls the main method, but what tells C# to find it here, and how does it have access? That's interesting. So, before we go any further, implement validate arguments. Yes, validate arguments. Okay. Let's actually git push. Cool. We validated the arguments, meaning that now we make sure that we pass at least something. Right now, our program compiles and we can run it, so let's actually try it out. So .NET run, but with nothing. And then, oh, well, I'll just see the error code, in theory. I really hope it works how I think it does. Damn, it's taking a long time. I wonder... Oh, that's not what's supposed to happen. What if I .NET build? And then I find the actual exe and pass nothing to it. It doesn't work like I think it does. That's annoying. I thought... Wait. Since when? Since when is that not working? Oh, since I reloaded VS Code. Right. I thought that... That's... Oh. God damn it. Well, I'll figure it out eventually, how to throw an error code, like, on the outside. like in the shell, because this is a very important part of making a pipeline. I'll keep it as this for now to still convey the idea of what I'm doing, even if what I'm doing is in the wrong way. Okay, so argument handler, validate arguments. Now we have made sure that they are correct. What I want to do now is the first thing in the args array is the actual command. So I'll make a method that is called call command. Call command. Okay. Hold up, do I need, like the previous project that I had, you can, after the command name, in this case view, you can actually pass as many arguments as you want, and then it executes them. But, so I had the idea for this as well, but do I actually need to? Increment, I only call it once. Show, same thing. Reset and set. Set seems to be the only one that I might need other things for. Wait, hold up. No, I think I will implement something that makes me able to actually like set via here. Okay. Brilliant. Now in argument handler, another internal static bool, for now void, because I'm not sure what I'm going to return. Void call command, and it also expects a the args. So now we have a switch. So first of all, string command name is args, and now we are sure that it's not 0. Okay, this is even more ridiculous, but less than 1. What I'm really checking here is, does it have at least one thing? If it does, cool. That's all we need. This is the same thing because an array won't be like 0.435 length. No, it just won't. But this conveys what I'm actually checking for here in a more clear way, I think. What do you think? Make sense? Okay. So we take 0, and this is the command name. And while I don't need this yet, I'll still I'll get to it when I actually need to, though, because so far I'm not quite sure what it's going to be. So switch command name. It's actually kind of cold. I'm gonna close the window to immediately improve the sound quality as well. Okay, case, and now we actually specify what the commands are going to be called. Inc or increment. So you have two options that you can use to call the increment. So call command. Okay, should we create the counter manager instance in program or an argument handler? I think in program and then pass it. For some odd reason, I feel like this makes sense. Like, rather, more sense. I don't have any, like, I don't have any good argument as to why, but this is just my spidey sense. Or Peter Tingle. I watched the movie of Spider-Man recently. Somewhat recently. And nobody cares, more or less, but all of the things that I ever watch are actually public in a repository. Like, I'm a stupidly public person. Like, it's here. If you ever wanted to know whether I watched something or not, you can just look at this file. And here it is. I have this because it's automated, but that's a whole different discussion, which I might show in the future, and I have a whole playlist on it actually. I'm gonna leave it in the description. Boop, 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 boop. Shows playlist, and then shows should be playlist. Shows playlist. Yes, here it is. So, if you're interested in how I automate tracking the shows that I watch, you can watch that. Actually, kind of interesting. Delves into working with JSON in AutoHotkey. Okay, coming back. Now we create the instance of the counter manager. CM is new because we don't actually pass anything here. This is the step that makes sure that the counter file exists. And there's an argument to be made that when you make a file, that should be explicit. But here I don't actually think that should be the case. This file just needs to exist for this class to work. So hiding that implementation to make it more declarative is, I think, better. I think it's just straight up better. Okay. I'm like terrified that my stream will break again. Because separating the stream into two separate VODs when it's really just one is just unfortunate. Yeah, okay, so counter manager, we created the instance, and now argument handler call command, and now what we actually do, yeah, we put it here. Now, I expect an instance of counter manager CM. I never took a moment to appreciate how good this is. I can be ridiculously specific over what I expect as every single parameter, and then incredibly specific at what I get from it. That's so nice. In AutoHotkey, I would just have to hope the people that might be using my code understand what I'm doing. But here, it's so explicit. Okay, I'm gonna go and get some water. Gonna be back soon. have a $5 million mention, so it didn't take long for me to return. So here I am again. I feel like if I created this app by myself, it would be coded worse right now than it is right now while streaming. For some reason, I feel, first of all, happier, more, maybe not efficient, but better in terms of how well I code while streaming, instead of being so while being alone. Like, for some reason, having a public next to me feels like it makes me better. Which is, I love that. Okay, so args are only going to be passed if they are valid, because otherwise we don't continue. So that's correct. But before args, we pass this, an instance of the counter manager. This is so clean. I love this. Damn, it's so warm outside. People are grilling and it smells like fire starting liquid. Pretty cool. That's actually a vibe. Yeah. It's like the smell of summer. And then wildfires maybe, but that's a whole different question. Right now for me, it's like, god damn, it's pretty cold. It was plus 25 Celsius just recently, and now it's cold again, like it snowed. Legit 2 days of warm and people are sunbathing. True! Yeah, same. I gotta tell this, by the way. I don't think I've made it public on my channel. Not like it's necessarily private, I just haven't had the chance to. So, since it got warm, it was finally in weather for me to wear a skirt outside, which I did multiple times. And let's remember, I live in Russia. I fully expected someone to attack me or harass me and so on, which is why I carry mace with me for self-protection. But while obviously I got some weird looks, I wasn't killed. And I got so pleasantly surprised at that. Like, oh my god, I can live? That's crazy. So, that makes me happy, actually. I wonder, what's the quality of the stream? Let me check it out. Yeah, that seems pretty good. What do you think? Like, what's the quality in terms of the resolution, the FPS? Is it good? Or maybe could be better? Because I never even watched my VODs yet. Very often after recording a video, I actually watch that video, or a part of it, to essentially check it out. But I haven't done that with VODs yet. But it's so fun. It's so like nice to be able to go outside in what feels more like me. Huh. Oh, that's nice. Fuck yeah. That's so cool. Like, I just have a laptop. It's a pretty good one, but it's not necessarily a very powerful one, yet I can still stream. Sure, like, I'm not playing games, and to be fair, I don't have Steam installed on my system. I have a gamepad, but I play games so rarely that I just haven't bothered to, like, get it all set up again after reinstalling Windows. So, I'm not playing games for streaming to be, yeah. But I'm still surprised. Okay, so, call command. It's being called by program. Before we implement increment, I want to show. So case show and then cm show. Delete this, and then break. So we can actually try it out right now. As far as I know, no. Like, I tried searching a bit and there's no information. So I could probably get it illegally, and like that doesn't bother me. What does is the fact that I don't know how to take HRT. And although it's a very trans thing to do, to just take it and not care, but it's just way too irresponsible, because it could modify my body in a way that I don't actually want, because I don't know how to take it properly. So I haven't gotten to figuring that out to then maybe getting it illegally. But what's funny is that you can do like gender surgeries in Moscow. So there's no HRT, but surgeries you can do. And that confuses me to no end. Like, why is that an ability, but the, I would say, better one, not? Like, I think HRT is better in terms of gender assuring thing than a surgery. I do want to eventually get bottom surgery, but more important than that to me is HRT. Like, true, like most men, if they see a woman with a dick, it would be like, oh, that's not my thing. And fair enough, understandable. But there are also a lot of men that are like, well, you're a woman regardless, even with that. But HRT is the thing that helps most in that process, not necessarily me having a vagina. Coming back, let's try to .NET run show, and it should give me 0. True, I forgot one thing. Yeah. First of all, this should indeed be a right line, because without the line, it shows a % sign to mean this is the end of the std out. So, okay, first of all, that change. And second of all, oh, get sticks. Amount read. So sticks, so dov, paste it here, sticks by default is 0. But if amount is bigger or equal to 1, then we replace what it is with actual sticks. Okay, let's try it out again. .NET run. Okay, so now it's 0. And what I expect is once I increment it at least once, it will then become a stick. Okay. Let's commit this specific fix. Fix get sticks, returning empty string on counter of 0. And another thing that I just thought of, Okay, I know. So this should be, instead of bigger or equal than 1, it should be isn't 0. If it isn't 0, then this, and then what am I thinking of? So if it's less than 0, I will put a minus sign before all the sticks, so you can tell that all of those sticks are negative. It's true that I could just use a number for all of this and not have sticks, but for some reason it's like important to me. I don't know why. And this is also kind of fun to code. So if amount is smaller than 0, so a negative, then sticks is a minus plus sticks. Okay, so it works. So now, wait, oh, thank God. I tried to stage, but I actually did the thing that commits instead. Oh. It's auto-formatted, and I fucking missed it. So, okay. So let's commit those changes. Implement negative sticks. Oh my, I want to have negative sticks. I've been meaning to start using the Python colorful console stuff. Oh my god, you're so right. It would be funny to get red sticks when mine. You're so right. You're so right. Oh my god. You can actually absolutely do this with C#, and pretty easily so. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh my god. Fuck. Because what you can do in C# is something along the lines of console, and then I think color, or foreground, no, background, no, foreground color is, and then color, or other console, yeah, console color, and then you pick, and that changes the color. So you can very much do it, but it's kinda not sure how to do it like right here, because it changes the console, not the string. That's an interesting idea though. I will type it in. Welde red sticks when negative and green sticks when positive. That's such a good idea. Like, that wasn't even in my head. That's pretty creative, I would say. Okay. However, I'll try to write still. Okay, so .NET run show. What happens if I do this? Still a percent sign. And it's interesting that even with the right line, the line didn't really matter. So if I do this, yeah, oh, okay. And it's like so true that it would be funny. Like, that is the important thing, because I absolutely agree. Like, you should code stuff to be funny. That's like surprisingly important. I think having fun in whatever you're doing is very important in how you end up feeling about it. Okay, so now getSticks accounts for having 0 sticks and having negative sticks. Tak. Can you please tell me how I can select a program that was opened with a shortcut, not exe? Select a program that was opened with a shortcut, not exe. I want to automate with UA. The program has one exe and multiple shortcuts. Interesting question. So to reiterate it, so I understand it correctly, you have multiple shortcuts to the same program, but when you open the program with a specific shortcut, then you like get the win title of that program or do something with it. So first of all, I don't think that's possible to do. Well, everything is possible technically in programming. It's just too difficult to be reasonable to do. What I would suggest you do is, can you... Oh, it's actually even easier. You can make a hotkey, another hotkey, that launches that program. And then you can just grab it because there's the trigger of the hotkey. Yeah. Doing it with shortcuts, I don't even see a way to do so. But with a hotkey that you yourself make, that starts being a lot easier. Title updates automatically when new message comes. Hold up, is your issue the fact that you have a difficult time grabbing the correct win title? Because you can actually combine win titles. If maybe the name of it is not useful, you can use hk_exe and then the process exe, and then also the class to grab the handle. Get the handle through searching open programs. Unnecessary, because the hotkey, you can just provide the thing as a win title, and that will automatically get you the program. So every window has these properties. Some of them can be null. The name, the title of the app, then the full path to it. It's not really of the program, but I also included it in my app. The process exe, the class of the window, and of the where your cursor is, then ID and PID. And you can actually combine all of these to accurately pinpoint a window in a hotkey. You don't need to go through all of the windows yourself. You can just specify one of these and you'll get the window. Like, that's built in AutoHotkey. Okay. It's 10. I will probably have to go somewhat soon, but so far I'm still here. Okay, so we implemented view. So let's no, not like this. capital A. Yes, and that stages all of the changes. So implement call command. Implement call command. And now we can get to adding more stuff to this. So case increment, yes, inc which is the thing that I'm probably going to be using the most. But then case increment. So cm increment, and it will also show, because it makes sense to also show. So let's .NET run increment. And it shows a stick. It shows a stick. Oh, it fucking shows a stick. It shows a stick. Does it show 2 sticks? It shows 2 sticks. Oh my god. It shows 2 sticks. That's brilliant. It fucking shows 2 sticks. Let's go. We demand more sticks. More. Hold up. Well, first of all, like, exe, yes, this increment, so I don't have to like build it every single time. More sticks, more sticks, more sticks. I love this. More and more sticks. 5 sticks test. 5 stick test for the OR operator. I don't understand what you mean, honestly. Oh, yeah. Like, it started being a pipe, then an OR operator. Now it's a "Are you sure about that?" operator. Technically, in pretty much every language. Yeah, naturally, but I see the meme though. It is funny. Technically, it is in pretty much every single language. Believe it or not. Let me show you an example. Why not a hotkey? But I guess because it doesn't really matter. It's the idea that matters, not necessarily the execution. So let's say you have an if statement, if condition, then action. How you can write it is condition action. Well, in HK you would have to do this. Doesn't really matter though. So if this is true, then you can use the AND operator to do this as well. So if this is false, this thing isn't done. But if this is true, then this thing is evaluated. But obviously you would have to, call the actual function. And there's the opposite thing. What if you want a if not condition, then action? In the same way, you can do condition or action. So if condition is true, then action is not evaluated. But if condition is false, then action is evaluated. So the same thing as this. And this thing is supported by pretty much every language that you could expect. Pretty much every language that has short circuiting, it's called. For a few symbols. True. I actually, you've seen me do this many times in the stream already, but I made my own implementation of hot strings, where I press a hotkey, and then I type in my hot string, press tab, and it's autocompletes. The reason for that is because hot strings are not supported everywhere, and they slow you down, and they also have to delete whatever you typed in. So say you type in this and then press tab. What if it didn't work? And sometimes it can not work. well, with my implementation, it will always work. And this is actually a video that I have on my channel. So I'm gonna link it here. What is it called? Hot stringer, and believe it or not, 2, because it used to work in a bit of a different way, where you would get an input box where you actually type it in here, but it wasn't enough for me. But it's actually still a very good solution, so I'm gonna type it in as well. Hot stringer 1, and then no, here 2. The second one is going to be first because I recommend that video more, or rather because that's what I'm using right now. It's not necessarily better. You can argue it's a worse solution than having an input box, but it's what I like more using, yes. So yeah, the and the or operators are already if statements, technically. Okay, so we have show, we have increment, we have case, now we do reset. So cm reset, and right now I'm gonna try this out as well. So .NET run reset, and before I do that, I also wanted to show for the chore tracker, if I add smoke once again, it doesn't tell me anything. It like assumes, like basically it doesn't say anything because it worked. It makes more sense to me to have it this way. It's more in the Unix ideology that if something says nothing, that means it worked correctly. But for the work tracker or Welde, I would rather know how many things I have. Make sense? I hope it does. So .NET run reset, and now it's 0. Increment, but not increment, just inc should work. And now it's 1. That's so cool. Now, you would probably say, shouldn't you make it so you can provide a number, like increment by 2? Actually, I don't think, like, it doesn't fit into what this program is supposed to do to begin with. What it's supposed to do is for me, after, like, I do 20 minutes of work, so I set a timer for 20 minutes of work, and then I, like, it increments once. So it's not a thing I'm going to be incrementing multiple times at a time. It's a thing that is specifically separate. Okay. How does the program know to reduce by 3 each day? Good question. It doesn't yet. So it's going to be a feature, but right now I haven't implemented it yet. Far simpler, hun. Way easier. A database is out of my fucking, I don't know, price range, I guess. Hold on, gonna explain how it will work. So, this class will create its own file called something like date. It will store the date. Once you run the program, you read that file, check the date that's in that file. If that date is the previous day, you get that, but by getting the date time now. So if the date in that file isn't today, then you decrement by however many you set up in settings. But if that date is the same as today, then you don't do that. You don't decrement. So pretty simple. There's no need to keep track of all the dates because I'm not going to be implementing any features that work with those dates. The only thing that we need to know is whether a day has passed or hasn't yet. So that's going to be my approach. I find it interesting that it says average view duration 14, even though like on my phone right now, I've watched the entire stream because it's easier to see new messages popping in. Oh well, right, I guess it's the average. Okay. So yeah, that's going to be implemented later. So we have reset. What else do we have? So we have increment, we have show, yes, those are there. Now we have reset, set, right, that was like a point of scarcity. That's not a word. A thing that made me scared a bit. Okay, I'm gonna return in a bit. Need to go to the bathroom. Streamer gone. I'm so scared. I'm just stealing this meme from Slimesicle. Okay, I'm back again. Okay, so now to implement what? To implement set. Like, I very much know how to do it right now, but I'm thinking of how I'm going to be doing it once this thing expands. I guess I'll worry about it when I need to, right? So right now what I'm gonna do is case set uses cm set, and what do we pass there? Set requires a number, right? Yes. Ooh. Ooh. Let's make, first of all, set. Where is it used? Nowhere yet. So let's make this private and make a public method called void called void also set. Can I do that? I think I can. Whether it's a good idea, I'm not sure, but we'll see. So string string of option, no, I guess also new counter. So the reason for this shooting in terms of shooting to exist is because right now what I want to pass is args, yes, args1, but args1 is a string. What this set expects is an integer. So here I actually need to do a conversion, and doing it right here is just whack. So I'll implement an overload that takes in a string, converts it, and actually returns an error code. Yeah, that seems good to me. So we've already done this prior, so it's not going to be as difficult as the last time. Well, I say difficult, it's not particularly difficult, it's just new. Like something that I haven't got the muscle memory of. But as Toding said, truly reusable code is one that you can just copy paste. But now I realize that, well, hold up. An exception thrown is an exception thrown everywhere. So what I'm going to do is actually implement another private method called parse string into int. What does it return? It returns the integer because it doesn't need to return the success symbol because it just throws it. Counter file isn't fully an integer. Can't convert string into can't convert string into int. So what does it take? It takes string text and converts it by yank for, no, rather delete for down, and for down grr. Not a default thing, by the way. It's a plugin that replaces whatever motion you put in with your current register, called replace with register. Replace with register. Yeah, very cool plugin. So let's say I yank this line, I can go 3 up and grr to replace that line with what's in my register. It's like surprisingly useful. Coming back though. Okay. And now we return result. Parse string into int. Why? Because it can be static instead. I used to get confused seeing that like blue thing, but now I immediately understood what it meant. I'm getting better. I'm fucking getting better. Fuck yeah. Okay. This can be static. Should it be argument handler? That's actually, there's, yeah, I think it should be. Okay, so let's move it. Okay, so parse string into int. And it shouldn't be private now, it should be public. Parse string into int. Number. Text. Yeah. And also number. So we pass text, meaning number string, number int. These namings don't really matter as much. It's a very obvious thing. So now, read, we get text. So int result is argument handler. So this ended up being a static class at the end of it all. It can be, right, internal. So argument handler, parse string into int, and we pass text, and we get result. So the same thing here, new counter, int new counter is argument handler, parse string into int, and we pass new counter. Will it error out? Yes, because the same name. So instead of error new counter, okay, let's just number. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so abstracted all of that away while still having it do the thing. Because true, we could just make it less safe by not even checking for success and just, it's probably correct, which is what I used to do before. But here it's a bit more safe. Wait, hold up. Oh, hold, yeah. So, right now, I am definitely passing a single string, which is why I don't need to check if args like not bigger than this. No, I'm just passing a single string, so I don't need to worry about it. Okay, so set, we get the number, and now we just call set, passing that number. Brilliant. Now I want to first commit parse string into int and all the things that I changed. So let's this and this. Let's commit this. Implement parse string. Yes, parse string into int. Beautiful. wait, yeah, this actually, and now implement, what is it called? Like the thing, the like object-oriented structure, like a concept, yes, a concept, an object-oriented a concept for something that basically you have some code. Adapter, yes. Thank you regardless. Implement adapter for set that takes in string instead. Sometimes I'm like amazed by how fast I type, but sometimes I'm just like the default. Okay, and this is just that. Okay, so let's just commit add all commands to call command. So now let's .NET build. Okay, so let's search for exe. Yes. First of all, show 3 sticks. Now set to 6. Oh, I forgot about that. I actually do want it to show after as well. Okay, so this show. It has 6 sticks, as it should. I love that. Let's reset those sticks. I love that. That's so cool. What the fuck? Let's GP it on here. Huh. Wow. This is going way better than I expected. I'm all like, this is almost strange. Making a project in C# doesn't usually go this like smoothly. I'm liking C# more as time goes. Okay. So now we have implemented all of the things that I want to be able to do with the counter. I implemented the commands that I can use for this. Brilliant. Okay. Okay, so yeah, before I actively use it, I still want to implement the eater. I was thinking of, maybe I already make the symlink so I can start using it. But the eater is very important. Okay, let's work on the eater. What the eater does, it eats up 3, in my case, because I specified 3 sticks every single day. To check for the day, it needs to have a file that has the current date. Yeah. Okay. So, where do we start? We start in a similar position that we had with this entire thing. So let's just copy this. We don't need settings, and we can also clause. Oh, clause. Call command. either is its own thing, which is automatic, but in that case, just creating the instance is just not it. It could be a static class. I'm not sure if it's going to be yet, but no matter what, it's not in call command. It's going to be between these lines. So we don't need this. So let's start. P, private read-only, true because it's only going to be needed here. Why is this? Can be removed as a value. Oh, I decided that it's a static class. Interesting. So const then. What? Okay, why is this an error? Being a site must be constant. Are you crazy? What is this bullshit? It is constant. Once you make it, it's always the same. No? Fuck making a static class then. SMH my head, honestly. Okay, so date file, and inside of quotes it will be date.txt. It's still not constant, huh? Well, read only. I don't understand why it's not constant. Is it because the app domain can change? But should it matter? I am like entirely confused. Okay, so we have the date file, but we don't yet. We should ensure that it exists. And this I can just copy. So if it doesn't exist, then instead of counter file, I'm gonna change that to date file. And of course, why would it work? It would be not fun at all. Date file. Cool. We specify the correct one. And instead of 0, so how is it going to work? When it starts out, it's the current date. So year, month, day, that's all that's going to be there. And after that, there's also going to be a method called something like eat. Yes, it's going to be called eat, which will check if the date file, the date of that is smaller or different from the current date. So the first thing that we need to do is a private. Oh, you're going. Okay, goodbye. Private to be fair, my brain, I think, is has run out of energy. Yeah, I should probably rest for now. So, I'm gonna be ending stream. I hope all of you actually being live in this stream, and those of you that are watching the VOD, I hope you had fun.